Today in this video we are going to see about the confession which is stated in Indian Evidence Act 1872 under section 24 to 30. That is, totally we are going to see 7 section in this. In Tamil it is called ஒப்புதல் வாக்குமூலம் அற்ற அல்லது குற்றத்தை ஒப்புக்கொள்ளுதல் குற்ற ஒப்புதல் என்று பெயர். So it is the acknowledging of a crime is called confession. So I did the crime. I stabbed another. I murdered. I raped. Like that. Usually the I will come, and that is acknowledging of a crime by the crime doer is known as confession. Then, and it can be made only by the person who is doing the crime or who is charged with crime, and then it may be made in the court or outside the court. That is judicial and extrajudicial. So now we will see what are all the statements which are coming under confession. First, that is, I killed my wife with a knife. That is, I gave a death blow during fight, and I kidnapped a girl and raped her. I took out my gun and shot the victim. These are all known as confession because the person who did the crime is acknowledging or accepting the crime. That is the statements. And what are the essential ingredients should be in confession? First is, it must be voluntary. The person who did the crime voluntarily coming out and voluntarily speaks to the concerned or speaks to the judge that I did the crime. That is, it should be voluntary. Then confession must affect the confessor. The person, naturally, when a person commits crime, naturally he will be punished according to the nature of the crime. So this is, confession must affect the confessor, the crime doer. Then now we will see the section one by one, and before going to see the section, we will see the difference between confession and admission. Admission is the fact, accepting of a fact from which we get the inference, or the inference is obtained. That is admission. But in the case of confession, the crime doer accepts the crime. That is the confession. So these are all the difference between, and the confession can be retracted and the admission cannot be retracted. These are all the difference between confession and admission. Then we will see what are the kinds of admissions or types of the kinds of confession or types of admissions, confessions. What are the confessions kinds? We classify into various categories. Those are all 4 in number. One is called plenary confession and non-plenary confession, judicial and extrajudicial. So totally 4 types of confession are there. Plenary means the full confession is known as plenary, and the admission is known as non-plenary. Judicial means when the confession is made in the presence of judge or before the judge, then it is called judicial confession. That is, usually the section 164 of the criminal procedure code states about the confession of the crime, or states about the crime. The JM has the power to record the confession, and during the investigation. Section 229, 241, 252 states about the accused pleads as guilty. Judges, when the accused pleads guilty, I did the crime like that, then the judge has the power to convict the accused. So this is judicial. And extrajudicial means that is the outside the court when it is the confession is stated and taken, that is called extrajudicial confession. There is section 228, 240 and 251 states about the extrajudicial. In the case of this is in the case of section 228 session court, it is before the session court. Section 241 cases, section 251 summon cases. So here in summon case, no formal charge is necessary. These are all the extrajudicial confession. Then we will now we will be seeing the sections one by one in order. First, section 24 provides that confession must be made only by the accused, not by any other person. The person who did the crime should confess the things. He is called confessor. And a person charged with crime, that is, there should not be threat or promise irrelevant in criminal proceedings. So it says about the that is there should not be any threat or promise or coercion like that. And section about who is an accused, the section 190 of Criminal Procedure Code, the magistrate make the cognizance of offence or crime. So as per the cognizance of crime stated in section 190, the accused is determined whether he is an accused or not. Then now we will move on to the section 25, state about the confession which are inadmissible. The confession made to the police officer is inadmissible, or it is not treated as confession because the involuntariness of the confession is presumed and not proved. So it should be the involuntarily sometimes the confession is given. That involuntariness is suspected in case of the confession obtained by the police. So and it is also not proved. That is the, and sometimes the Salleki also taken as confession. Suppose the crime doer speaks by himself that I committed crime or I killed like that, that is taken as confession. That is Salleki. Salleki means a person speaks of himself. Then section 26 says to prevent the abuse of power by police. Sometimes the police may use their power to extract the confession, and that abuse of power by police is not taken into consideration. Then confession proved before magistrate, that only taken as confession. So what are the confessions proved before the magistrate, that is taken as confession. And if it is extracted confession means that is not accepted. Then section 27, that is the information received from the accused in the by the police officer. So much information. Suppose a part of the confession might have been proved by the police, which is relevant. That much confession alone is taken as proved, and maybe that alone may be proved. That is with regard to the section 27. Suppose and another thing, important thing suggested in this, any fact deposed to as discovered. Suppose the fact is deposed before the police or magistrate, and that should be, the rationale should be there, and that should be discovered by the police. Suppose a person says, I killed X, I killed a person by stabbing with a knife, and what the he also states, this is a statement. He also gives another statement, that is known as discovered statement. Say the weapon used or the sickle used for stabbing, the knife or the weapon used, I have hidden in the thatch roof. So the actual knife which was used for stabbing was hidden in the thatch room. That is called as discovered statement. So this says about the rationale behind the confession, and the discovered fact, the discovered fact or the discovered confession by the investigating officer. That is called the hidden discovered. In fact, deposed to as discovered. Next one, the section 28 says, suppose if inducement is there for while taking confession, that is threat, promise of the court fully removed, then it is relevant. Only the confession which is free from all inducement, threat and other thing, then it is taken as relevant. Then the important another section is section 29, confession not by inducement, threat. Usually confession it should not be, there should not be any threat or coercion should be there. But during interrogation, sometimes the police may use deception, or sometimes the even force. They may use some of the methods, and that is which are relevant are taken as the confession. Say for example, in the case of deception, the some of the even the police may force also use the deception. They may in the name of getting some favor from the person, they may trap the persons. Say for example, the one executive officer may ask some corruption. So the police officers may go with the currency with the serial notes already recorded by them, will be given as the bribe. And when the person acting, the executive acting, after getting the bribe, then they will catch, he will be caught hold of, he will be caught by the police. This is called a deception. And sometimes they may use the recorded, sometimes they use some recorded statement also. Suppose say they may use electronic equipments for recording the confession. It may be in the hidden form. So these are all allowed in confession. So what are the deceptions used and the electronic equipments used for taking confession, that is taken as confession, and that is allowed. That is the section 29 says. The accused persuaded confession, that is the secrecy of his statement, and confession is nevertheless relevant. Such of the confession is always relevant. So even sometimes they may use some deception, some extraordinary methods to extract a confession, and that is relevant. And then the last one is section 30, that is it is when some of the crimes might have been committed by persons, more than one person, that is called joint, that is treated as jointly. The offense is one, but it might have been the plan might have been hatched by many and might have been executed by many. That is called joint. The crime might have been committed jointly, and when such is the case, for the same offense, if one person is stating the confession, it will be binding on the others also. That is the section 30 says. That is, if one person gives confession, that affect the all who are all involved in the crime as a joint planned crime. For say, for example, the abutment of crime is known as the it is coming under the section 30. So when more than one persons have hatched a plan and executing a crime, then if one person confesses or one person giving confession, it will be binding on all others. That is the section 30 says. So section 24 to 30 says about the confession, that is Kutra Uppudal Vakumolam, and we have dealt one by one. With this, we conclude the confession.